Welcome to another DIY episode of The Simple Farmhouse. I'm Laura and I'm so glad you're here. As summer is rounding down and fall was creeping in September, I started on a project to cozy up and also simplify our bedroom with this DIY bed. If you followed me over on Instagram for a while, you know that the previous bed that I had made was a $100 DIY headboard, which you can find still on my YouTube $100 DIYs. I felt the need to simplify in here and just update with a little touch of modern, and I'm loving how this 4-poster bed turned out. And I'll be repurposing the old boards from the previous headboard in the boys' room. What made this bed especially easy to make was that I already had a frame underneath that I was using with the previous headboard. So all I really needed to do was build the surround. This 4-poster bed is not carrying any weight on it. I'll link a bed frame below in the description, but if you do need this bed to hold weight, you can refer back to the platform bed I created for my daughter's bedroom. I would suggest using a heavier wood than what I'm using here in order to sustain weight for 2 people. But for my project, I am going with premium pine boards in 1x3, 1x6, and 2x2. The 2x2s will function as the 4 posts of the bed. Then I needed 4 of each of the other boards. The 1x6 goes around the bottom part of the bed, and the 1x3 connects at the top. This will need to be assembled in the space, and your measurements will just depend on how high up your bed. And you'll also trim the rails according to the length of your bed. The best way to approach this was to work one side at a time. So I laid 2 of the posts down and attached the 1x6 where I had measured to the bed frame. Second, I attached at the top a 1x3. The entire assembly for this bed is using pocket holes, and I will add to the description where you can find a Craig jig. After assembling one long side, I assembled the second longer side and then raised them up so that I could then attach the top and bottom of the headboard and footboard. It does help if the mattress and the bed frame are out of the way for this assembly. I used wood filler at the top of the bed to hide those pocket holes, and it is stainable. When everything is screwed together, then it's time to make a headboard. I liked the look of something a little more soft at the head, and also it's an additional way to strengthen and stabilize the bed frame. I used just a 1/4-inch sheet of plywood, measured to the length that I found pleasing. I'll include that in the description as well. And then I had a piece of 2-inch foam that I found at Walmart. And I'm going to just attach that with some adhesive to the board. The goal here is to leave a 2-inch trim around the edges so that I can attach it to the posts of the bed. Once the foam is secured, I attached some batting to the foam. This is sheet batting found at Walmart as well. And after securing that with the adhesive, it was time to select a fabric. I actually chose the same fabric that I used for our curtains, and I'm going to staple it to the back of the headboard. I just left a little bit of overage to have something to staple to, and I started from the center and spaced it every 6 inches or so just to pull it as smooth as possible without getting wrinkles. And once that was done, I came back and added more staples in between. The corners were a little bit trickier, but I didn't worry too much about it because I knew they would be hidden by the posts once it's attached to the bed. The goal was just to smooth and trim and staple as well as possible. Then it was time to attach to the back of the bed. I measured up about 52 inches from the ground, and I rested the bottom of this headboard on a little stool and marked where I wanted it to be attached. I didn't even drill a pilot hole, which I probably should have with the fabric, but it worked out I just put a couple of screws through the back of the headboard into the posts. This gave the bed some rigidity and helped to make it a little more structurally sound as well. So as you can see, the corners aren't going to show, and this is why I didn't stress too much about them. The stain is my usual, a mix of Minwax weathered oak and early American. I gave it 2 coats and let it dry before bringing in the mattress and the bedding. This rug is actually from Revival Rugs, and I have a coupon code to share with you guys. They have the most amazing handmade vintage rugs. I could not believe the quality and the softness. It came cleaned and beautiful, and I have a 10% off code in the description. I'll also include in the description a list of supplies. I hope you found this video helpful, and if you have, I would love to have you hit that subscribe button and tap the little bell to receive notifications. Be sure to find me over on Instagram at The Simple Farmhouse with periods in between words, or at thesimplefarmhouse.com. Until next time.